Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to GNP's third episode of GNP's Nerd Off. That's a mouthful. I'm here with recurring, well, I guess people who have been here before. Ricardo, right? All right. This is the panel for today. Everyone here has had an opportunity to do this once before, so we're just here. We're having fun. We know what the rules are. We're set. Yeah, you guys are veterans right now, and I got reigning champ right now.
Champion.
Yeah, Sean Logan as fact checker today because we need some facts checked because we get really creative here and passionate. I think that like logic and facts go out the window at a point because even me, I'm like, whoa, that sounds great. That's not true. So this time it's going to be all about some facts. I'm going to take that into consideration before making my ruling. At the same time, you know, we're going to be keeping this the same way it was before. This time we have 10 minutes and 15 seconds per round. You guys know the rules, but I'm going to repeat it again just in case you haven't caught our last episodes. You guys have 10 minutes among the three of you. It's not 10 minutes each for you guys to make your argument for the different things that we're discussing today. We have 4 rounds, and in each round we have a different question. You guys gave me your answers from beforehand, so I'm really looking forward to how you guys are going to defend it. Remember, it's about passion. It's about why your answer is better or the preferred choice over other people's answers. So everyone else is going to give their reasons. You guys can have the best reasons on the planet, but versus the other person. So remember, tailor your argument towards that other person. You know, let's keep it fun. Let's keep it, aggressive. Well, let's keep it polite. Vicious. I don't know how you do that, so figure it out on the way.
Let's keep it like a Republican debate.
So I'm, even though you guys have been here before, clearly, I'm still going to take an opportunity to introduce you guys by first name basis. Unless you guys want to introduce an alias in this particular instance, it's actually up to you.
My name is Jabroni Jones.
Jabroni Jones, aka Michael. And,
God.
Wow. Joshua. And
Dionysus.
Wow, Dionysus, aka Aaron. One thing I want to mention is that the entire panel right now is named after people from the Bible, save for myself. You got Michael, Aaron, Joshua.
Archangel Michael.
So I'm gonna call this the biblical panel of all.
I just need to say that your arguments will crumble as the city did.
Oh boy.
There you go.
The city walls. When they just go around it and it just fucks off.
I actually like that. Joshua fought the Battle of Jericho. So let's work that in. All right, guys, I like the passion so far, so we're going to start. Nobody has any other things to do right now. All right, so we're set to go. We're going to start with round 1. You guys know how to start. That. So remember, we're going to be starting with Michael over there. We come in this way. All right, so Michael, you get to answer the first one, and we're going to start right about now. So round 1.
Are we going to do the introduction thing?
Yeah, you're going to answer the question basically off the bat, your preliminary answer. Okay. So you actually have an opportunity to, you don't have to just say, I picked this right off the bat. You can say, I picked this because so-and-so. Right. You have a minute to kind of explain that. Same with you, and then the fight starts. All right, so I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be an awesome fight.
No elbows, right?
Huh?
No below the belt?
Below the belt.
I'll take my belt off and whip you with it.
So none of that if that's what below the belt necessarily counts as a test. And then how that's...
No personal attacks.
No personal attacks at all. That doesn't help the argument at all. It's all love. Also, after the round is called,
your argument sucks because he's voting for Trump.
So after the round is done, that's when I'll defer to you to see if there's any cleanup necessary. If you have like anything for information checking, whatever, just let me know. If it's like someone's like dead wrong, they argued a completely different point, then just let me know, and then we'll go from there. Yeah. So round is about to start after I read the question. So we're gonna go now. Round 1. What's the coolest way to receive superpowers? And we're starting with you, Michael.
All right, cool. So I picked being born with them. I feel like being born with them. It's very natural. I feel like it's very awesome. With Aquaman, interestingly enough, he's a very down-to-earth character. He's in the most weirdest of situations, but he takes a very practical approach to being born with superpowers. He's a child of land and of sea, but to him, he doesn't really see himself as either because neither side really accepts him. So he just... he sees it as kind of his duty. And I think that's a little bit of the theme with all these characters I listed. Not with the mutants, because there's too many to name. There's basically all of them. That's what the definition of mutant in the Marvel Universe is. But I think it's the fact that what they do with them is very interesting. Like Superman's case, he was born with them, but he doesn't go around beating people up. He just helps out where he can. He's very... he helps people out. He's very altruistic. So, yeah, that's my answer.
All right, Joshua.
Okay, I chose, in cooperation with or through some kind of near-death experience. I chose that mainly because I feel like the near-death experience has always been a classic way of signifying that there's been a change with the character and that there's something different afterwards. And I feel like that's a really integral part of just the idea of what it means to be a hero. Classic example, the Hulk, who got hit with a bomb or something, and and he didn't die. He became the Hulk. So
you are so weird, man.
It's a fun weird. So yeah, that's why I chose it.
Okay.
Aaron, I picked Form a Supreme Being because it makes you stick out of a crowd, and it doesn't run the idea of coincidence. Like, I know we're not starting a debate yet, but if...
oh boy.
The second you bring up somebody else's argument...
I'll save that for later. But it makes you stick out from the crowd, and in most cases, having your powers from a Supreme Being makes you incredibly powerful. And it also gives you the whole story of what you're going to do with that power and whether or not you have the right to intervene. And yeah.
All right. Alright, so open season now? Yeah. Okay, to sort of respond to what you said.
No, I'm going. Alright,
what the hell was that?
I never saw that.
What in God?
He stopped you though.
What?
Well, firstly and foremost, going for yours first. Now being, since comics have been out for quite some time, being born with powers is kind of a more or less lazy way to give your character powers, because nearly I'm not trying to insult Marvel in any way, but nearly all of their characters have been born with powers. There are a select few who have gotten their powers.
Oh, Spider-Man,
but all the
Fantastic Four,
but
whatever.
But all the mutants have gotten their powers from birth.
Because that's their that's the definition of a mutant.
Exactly, and that's boring because all of them have their powers in the same exact way. So there's kind of no point in the origin story.
That's not biased
It's what
at
they
all.
do with their powers afterwards that kind of matter, but that's not really what the question is asking. It's asking how you got your powers. And as far as near-death experience...
Well, it's the best way to receive, not how.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, best way to receive, okay. And with near-death experience, it's kind of boring after a certain point, because, I mean...
because receiving it from a Supreme Being is not boring.
No. I can't let that stand.
No, wait.
A reason why I know this experience
can. Okay, done after this one sentence. All right. And then we have characters who got their powers from a Supreme Being, like Phantom Stranger or the Spectre, even Golden Superman, who got his powers after he was Superman. Makes the characters interesting because with the Spectre you have the whole...
Yeah, I noticed it too.
You have the whole Spirit
I'll save it
for
scene. He knows what he's talking about.
You have the whole Spirit of Vengeance thing, and then with the Phantom Stranger you have the whole... he was actually Judas Iscariot, and he got his powers as sort of a punishment. And...
I would like to note he said one more sentence.
Alright. Finish the sentence.
Yeah,
your characters are just boring.
We're
I'm a polite
man.
Yeah. So the reason why I feel like a near-death experience is the best one is because, again, as I said in the beginning, it marks a change in the character. From a supreme being. I always felt that was kind of cheesy in a way. I do connect with certain characters that have that, like with Phantom Stranger or Star-Lord before Marvel retconned it. But I feel like it for me it kind of puts the character into this kind of hobo situation where they just kind of got gifted with something. They might not have earned it. I know Star-Lord did, but in some cases it's just they throw you a bone and it feels like it's not earned. And with being born with the powers again, it's to me it's pretty boring. They didn't do anything to earn it. At least with a supreme being, I guess they had to have social skills talking into it. With a mutant or with Aquaman or with Superman, it's just okay, you have good genes. Hitler somewhere in his grave is throwing up a thumbs up. But with a near-death experience, it usually signifies, at least to me, or it feels like when that happens, it's some kind of second chance. They're not the guy that they were before. Barry Allen's not the guy he was before he got hit with those chemicals. And whatever the guy's name is, Bruce Banner, will never be the guy.
Whatever the guy's name is.
Yeah, he will never be the guy he was before he got hit with those gamma rays.
Okay,
and
sort of rebuttal you?
I'm not completely done yet, but
I'm sure you are.
The heroic powers that they get, and with the Hulk, say it's more monstrous. it finalizes that shit. So not only is the near-death experience kind of symbolic, but it's also shown in what happens directly after and makes them who they are.
All right, to sort of rebuttal what you were saying about characters can change, I mean, that applies to anybody, you know? Like, that just because they're born with the powers doesn't mean they can't change. Heroes goes from villains, villains goes to heroes. So having powers really has nothing to do with it. Hold on, I still need to rebuttal his. And what you were saying at the beginning, where they're, you know, the philosophical side, should they intervene? Again, that's irrelevant to having powers. There's characters all the time that choose not to get involved in situations because they have a life, they have a job, they're people. So they don't choose to intervene, some do. And some, hold on. But Superman, again, he sees it as a responsibility, a duty, because that's the way he was raised. And if he wasn't raised like that, totally different story. And that's why there's a whole host of alternate reality stories. And that's why I think it's really cool, because you can always put a different spin on it. And that's why it's really cool with the near-death experience. How many times can you spin the same story? With mutants and Aquaman, these are vastly different properties. And you can, all different stories. So, yeah.
So, just to rebuttal you there, you make a good point about how, you know, with those other two, you can make choices. When you're born with the powers, you can make the choice to be a robber or a superhero or Trump. You can do whatever. You know, with a near-death experience, I feel like that's special because the power comes with something. It's not just, oh, you can fly. You can fly because you got pushed off a building and you got a second chance. Good on you. So, with the near-death experience, you know, especially in the context of comic books and superheroes, it comes with a weightier prospect to it. And again, from a supreme being, it feels like they're going you
superior.
Yeah. Spock's still in my head.
Yeah.
But like for example, Star-Lord, he gets his powers from a wizard, and not a wizard, but some guy comes to Earth and he's like, I have a ship who wants
go get a fact check, boy.
Yeah.
I love how Sean's just waiting in the corner.
But whatever. Like my problem with that is that if that guy wasn't nice, if they didn't give him that, they wouldn't have it. And with the Born with Powers thing, yes, it's an interesting way to get those powers, but it doesn't come with anything, so it feels kind of flat. With the near-death experience, it comes with something. It's weightier. It's not just powers. It's a power. It's an event. It comes with emotions and a whole
here's the thing. I would say, hold on. Just let me say this one thing. I would say it comes with a lot. Not only does it come with the power, but you see what you just did. You persecuted a person with powers. It's like, yeah, okay, you got powers. They're persecuted every day. Aquaman, in his own series, Jeff Johns, issue 1. You're a fish. Ha ha ha. You talk to fish. And Aquaman's like, yo, I'm just trying to eat. And he's like, yo, Superman. He's like, yeah, go fly somewhere. You're an alien. You don't belong with. And I find that to be very interesting. So yes, it may be what you call a lazy way to get powers, but it may be a very easy way.
This is a very
short one here. I just want to say what during near-death experience, no one cares about what the character was before they got the powers. That only adds irony to it, like how Barry Allen was only late, and it's ironic that now he's always on time. And with having powers
he's
from
still late after
being,
that, isn't he?
Not really.
That's the morning thing. It's like you have super speed.
But yeah, but
I know it's such a hilarious
you kind of get called to a higher calling than just.
All right, that last point was hilarious.
All right, okay. Anything to clean up?
2 things.
All
right, so we're gonna get to that one second. The first one is the Barry being on time.
Yeah.
Barry was always late. He keeps that as part of his shtick, so that people don't figure out he's the Flash. He's not suddenly on time. He's still late, so that part of your argument is an interesting way to get found out. The other thing doesn't really nitpick your argument per se, but it was also Golden Superman.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're referring to the DC 1 million or the All-Star Superman one.
Yeah.
But in either one,
he's
not gifted powers from his supreme being.
Yeah.
He flies and just sits in the sun for a couple thousand years.
Yeah.
So he was not given.
I would say that
being.
not
Unless
you
count the sun as a supreme being. but I
Egyptians?
don't. It doesn't have Egyptians.
I was thinking.
All right. Well, thank you for that, because that's actually good to know.
Yeah, because that definitely affects his point.
Well, all right. So let me break it down for you guys really quickly in terms of, I guess, my thought process behind it, because I already know in my head who's getting the point in you guys' arguments. But just to kind of preface, the question being, what's the coolest way to receive superpowers?
Mm-hmm.
So within that, we ended up getting more into a philosophical discussion of what's the best way to receive superpowers and actually how that affects you as a person, which I thought was interesting. How we were all like, which I let that continue because cool is subjective, so it could very well mean best. So the fact that we were all in agreement with what it was that we were arguing, that's fine.
Right.
So what happened? Start from this side over.
Okay.
So with Michael, you ended up arguing more about the people you used as examples,
right,
as opposed to
the power itself.
The power itself, like being not so much the power itself, but the fact that you're born with superpowers. You use Aquaman and Superman as examples, but the arguments that you made to defend them was also, I guess,
characters.
It was very character specific. Okay. Whereas I feel like if you dived more into the mutants, you had a bigger pool to kind of, because I like the point you were making about the adversity that you receive. But I feel like that's something that really would have tied well with the mutants.
So I'm guessing I don't win.
We don't know that.
We don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go through the process.
I'm a very pessimistic person.
Yeah. All right. And then, so Josh, you made a lot of points about that's when it kind of got way more philosophical, where you're making points about the signifying change in a person, where you were one way beforehand, and afterwards you became a different way. Then in Aaron's argument, you made the point about being when you get it from a supreme being, it makes you essentially like it's more or less you're chosen. I have written down that you stick out, like it kind of pulls you from the bunch, and then it gives you better power or authority in the sense of now you being chosen and discerning, and you kind of hit everyone else's and said that theirs were boring. But then Joshua was talking about, obviously it's more or less you get a second chance. It's which I have in my notes as kind of more of a redemption type thing. You make that transition after receiving so and so that's a revelation in your life. And then you kind of just hit the nail on the head with the it shapes the character. One thing being like falling off or being pushed off a building, and then you get flight after that. It's like more or less of an awakening. So within that and what we ended up arguing, I give the point to Joshua. Was very surprised because the way you started off your argument really was more or less about, like I said, straddling the fence of freak accident versus near-death experience. So you ended up getting that point. So round one goes to Joshua.
Okay.
So actually, good round, guys.
I'm already losing.